What is going on, you marktards out there? Here we are, yet again. Of course, this is the PW Hustle. And not only is this the PW Hustle, this is the PW Hustle with a special guest on the phone who doesn't even realize that he's going to be on today's show. You know what I'm saying?
This is big. Real big.
Real big. I don't even think he realizes that I'm recording right now. We got the Shogun of Harlem. We got Shonuff. Not the real Shonuff, but that's what he's called on the streets. You know what I'm saying? He can't be on the streets either. Shogun of Harlem, what's going on, man?
We shall never be apart.
You gotta say more than that, man. You on air. The hustleites are out there. They want to hear from you.
Okay, the cream always rises to the top.
All right. So the cream always rises to the top. All right, that's what's up. So other than the cream rising to the top, what else do you got to say?
Oh, well, that's about it, sir. I don't know what we're doing.
I got to introduce my broadcast brother, my hustleite family, my freaking co-host, the most scholarly, the most magnanimous, the most effervescent, the most objective, and the most stupendous, the king of the motherfucking hoopla, and the most glorious man in the IWC, YWC, PWC, TWC, punditry, all that shit in a bag of cheese, my nigga. Professor Chavelo de la Cruz. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, 8-Track? What's going on to the Shogun? He's got the glow and shit. What's going on to the hustle?
Well, just so you know, the Shogun will not be able to hear you. He can only hear me. So
that's okay. Just let him know he's got the glow. Whether it's red or gold, I don't know what glow he's got, but whatever. Just keep it to himself.
Of course, the Shogun of Harlem, he's got the glow. You know, he ain't scared. He ain't backing down from Bruce Leroy. It ain't going down like it did in that movie. But anyway, talk to the people, Professor. What is going on in these mean streets, in these corporate fucking streets, in these corporate boardrooms? Here we got Vince McMahon yet again with more NDAs. And so I said, wait a minute, we got to talk about this shit, of course. Of course. I mean, it would be fun if Tony Khan has some NDAs, but we know Tony Khan ain't out there banging chicks.
No. It's not about Tony Khan. It's not about any other person. I mean, we could talk about Vince McMahon, but, lo and behold, there was somebody on this show before these other NDAs came about. I said, and I quote, Vince McMahon did some dirt with the female referee from the 80s. Vince McMahon did some shit with the Federettes of the 80s. Vince McMahon did some shit with Mike McGurk. Vince McMahon did some shit with some divas. I didn't even say nothing. This is what I said on a post. He did some shit with some divas. It turned out to be true. Vince McMahon did some shit with some seamstresses from behind the scenes. Vince McMahon did some shit with people from the corporate office. I already said this weeks ago, Track. This is nothing new to the Professor. This is old news to the Professor. What's new news to you, to the hustleites, the Shogun, is for some reason somebody called me a Vince McMahon apologist. Somebody put me on a meme that I'm Samuel L. Jackson holding on and clutching, crying his eyes out. But you know what? It is what it is, but you know what? This is no news to me. This is what we've all known. This is what wrestling fans already know of Vince McMahon. He's a rich pervert who is using his expendable income. That's the only thing that's left, Track. Did he use his own personal money or did he use company money? Because if it was personal, we ain't got no news, Track. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to tell hustleites this. The only way this could become news, and hear this, hustleites, this is the truth. All these women who sign NDAs, you know what they could do, Track? They could file a court of appeals and get Vince McMahon arrested and to put the trial, whether you do it in Connecticut, New York, California, wherever it is, Track. That's the only way we get. That's new news. If the women come out, speak out, me too, take it to the whole nine and take this to court. If they want justice, true justice, Track, the women have to take them to court. Otherwise, this ain't nothing. We're just waiting for the board of directors to say we found no other evidence than Vince McMahon using personal money.
Well, we lost the Shogun of Harlem. He had to go handle some things, and that's fine. He was never really meant to be on here. Anyway, I just wanted him to come on and say a few things, which he did, and that's cool. So here's what we're going to talk about. Now, we can sit here, and say this is old news. To the professor, of course, it's old news. Now, to someone like myself, I didn't know about these other 12 NDAs. It is becoming apparent that he did pay more money to these women than he did for WCW, and it also clears up why fucking I think for at least for me it clears up as to why back in the day Harvey Wimpleman was always shitting on Mike McGurk anytime he could. You know, he's calling her ugly and all this other shit. Vince McMahon had him doing that shit. So that makes sense to me. So that mystery is solved right there. But again,
don't forget the other mystery too. Everybody said, why did Christy Hemme get a nice, rich TNA Impact Wrestling contract?
Yeah.
After she left.
I didn't really want to bring her up, but that's the elephant in the room, I guess, to a lot of people. It is apparent that to many that she may be the main one. And it's very possible when you read, her statement as to why she left. There is some validity there, and I say that word fucked up. Validity. You know, sometimes I have problems saying those words, but it speaks to that statement. But one thing that we have to acknowledge, because I know if Jay Snow was on here right now, he would definitely say, women fuck powerful men, this, that, and the third. That is true, but powerful men always put themselves in a position to find themselves to fuck these women. Okay, that is exactly one of the main things of, I guess one could say the true victims of the Me Too movement coming out, talking about how they would be in a position where, if I fuck you, I get this part. Now, granted, I know there's men out there and men I've spoke to who can sit there and say, the best way to avoid that, get the fuck up and walk the fuck out the room. That's very true. But that still doesn't let the fucking guys who do this shit off the fucking hook. It's not right to put yourself in a position to a female, do this for me and I'll do this for you. That's fucking wrong. Straight up and down. Let's be real. Now, this
has been a culture. This is the bad part of the culture of corporate America track. This is the bad part of culture.
You're right, and that has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That has to stop. That shit has to stop, because here's someone like myself, right, who thinks that I don't find it necessarily bad that people who work together, fuck around. I get and understand why some may think that's a bad idea, but if it's between two people, it can get nasty if shit doesn't work out. But the overall point of what I'm trying to say is, if I did have interest in somebody that I worked with, and I was to just express that in the most respectful way, due to the fact that so many assholes in power have used their positions to hit on these women or to fuck these women. Now, me coming along, if I want to be anybody who is just general and let's say sincere in their attempt to want to go out for a cup of coffee after work or something like that, you get labeled a sexual harasser. He sexually harassed me because he asked me out. He sexually harassed me because he said I had a nice shirt or I look good today. Now, we can sit here and say, oh my God, I can't believe that this shit is going on. This is so fucking crazy. This generation comes out of the birth of our generation. Mm-hmm. Shit gets worse because of the people who don't stand up before them and say enough is enough. And when we were growing up, when Q and I were growing up, you had Anita Hill, you had Bill Clinton, the men of power doing this shit. And again, it is not just, you know, they're well-known men, but even below that, like I've always joked around and say, the motherfucker who's the manager at fucking Journeys or who's working at Safeway, you know, it's just to be in that position of power. But those men in those positions of power fuck shit up for other men who are not trying to be sleazeballs, who are not trying to be assholes, who you know, it's like the guys who are out in the street catcalling bitches fucks it up for real cats who see a woman and just, you know, like want to talk to her, strike up a conversation, see what she's all about. And granted, the pussy is still the first thing on our mind, but a lot of us come out with respect. We approach a lady, the whole chivalry thing. But there are too many men who make that shit fucking bad, who have fucked up so much that good men who are trying to be genuine can't do that anymore. And y'all know, you know, I'll stand up for men all damn day. And in terms of the battle of the sexes, I will fucking, you know, but I'm not gonna fucking call out. I'm not gonna not call out, you know, the male species and give us a pass. It's like I saw on the and I'm gonna let you respond in a minute. I just want to get through this. I saw a comment when I was looking at something on Facebook where Steph Curry was about to get kissed by a woman at the celebration. He backed up. The comment said, you know, if the situation was reversed, that person would have been in jail. That person would have had Steph Curry arrested and tried to sue this, that, and the third. And I responded to this person. I said, well, you know what? When women start having the history of beating a man because their fucking dinner isn't cold, raping the shit out of them just because they knew that they could, treating them like shit at the workplace. When women have that history, that long list of history of treating men like shit, then we can have that conversation. You know, it's like, that's why when people say, I can't believe this Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing isn't that big, because it's no different when you see a bunch of black people beating the hell out of a white person because they're white. You normally don't see that. Usually it's reversed. And given the history of what has happened, that's why when a lot of people see that shit, they might be like, oh, well, whatever. I know it happens, but hey, you know, compared to what used to happen, this ain't shit. So that's what it's like. And I'm not, if you don't agree, that's fine. I'm just trying to get you to understand what I'm saying. And I'm trying to get you to understand this is why we are here. And it's not like women decided to wake up one day and say, you know what? We're going to start this movement just to fuck with people. You know, everybody talks about how perverted Hollywood is and how perverted the fucking the industry is. Sex cults and this, that, and the third. You got the conspiracy horsemen and their whole bullshit, making it about a left or right thing, the leftists in Hollywood. Meanwhile, here you have women getting treated like shit, but that shit don't exist anymore. The perverted entertainment industry doesn't exist anymore because a motherfucker presented you with The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan and this, that, and the third. No! You don't give that motherfucker a pass. Because the only time y'all motherfuckers will start listening or start paying attention to anything is if an underage child is involved. Then people want to get serious. Then people want to fucking talk about shit. And a lot of times, the whole innocent until proven guilty shit gets thrown out the window the minute you throw a child in there. But if it's a grown woman, oh, well, you know, they wanted to fuck a powerful man. Oh, well, they're getting paid. And this is shit that I've said, but I'm being real about the birth of where it comes from. I'm trying to get y'all to understand that there's another side. There's a flip side to this, and it speaks to facts. It doesn't excuse shit. It doesn't excuse a woman from making up shit. It doesn't excuse a woman from exaggerating or blowing shit out of proportion. I'm not saying that gives them a pass. I'm just saying we have a history as men of being complete fucking assholes. And I will stand by this shit all the time. Having women work with men, rest in peace to Patrice O'Neal, is like having a fucking bear work with salmon dipped in honey. It ain't gonna go well after a while. You're gonna have some hiccups, but that still doesn't give you a pass to be a dick. Go ahead, Q. I've ranted on long enough.
I just wanted to let you roll. You was doing so good. You gave us the history. You gave us examples. I mean, what could the professor do?
It's just that I don't feel like a lot of this is being said. And it's like, come on, we at some point as men, we got to stand up and say, you know what? We do some fucked up shit.
No,
and this is one of those things that is fucked up. But go ahead.
It is so fucked up, but yet, Track, I don't want to sound insensitive here, but it's very complicated with every situation. I mean, again, I started out this program earlier saying, you know what these women need to do against Vince McMahon? Take this to court. Get some kind of justice. If they feel they need some justice, that's what they have to do. You know, women did it for Bill Cosby. You know, a lot of people talk about Bill Cosby. So, you know, and a lot of people are on Bill Cosby's side. But 30 years is still 30 years. So the women need their day in court. Harvey Weinstein, you talked about the Hollywood casting couch thing. A lot of people in our generation, Track, grew up wanting to be that producer and wanted to be in control of the casting couch to take advantage of that. So that's, again.
Because these niggas is watching porn way too fucking much.
Again.
Dead ass. Yo, no bullshit. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say something that probably doesn't really get said enough. You see, remember them Chris Hansen shits when them dudes was going up to meet with girls and whatever shit like that? Yeah, take a seat. You know why you got a lot of guys who fucking want to do that shit? Because these niggas is watching barely legal porn with the fucking chick in the uniform, and they want to live out those fantasies. But instead of finding a hot chick with Turner disease who's of age, they actually go to fucking little girls, these nasty bastards. So you gotta, it goes back to what the Most High said. If you want to look at the Bible, okay, I know a lot of people say the Bible's bullshit, but here's one thing that you can say that makes sense. If your right eye offends you, cut it off. If you see that every time you're looking around, you want to just fuck every woman, it probably has a lot to do with the shit that you're watching. It probably has a lot to do with the shit that you're reading. It has a lot to do with whatever's going on in your life. So you gotta learn. And this is me trying to help the dudes out there who the incels. This is me trying to help the incels. You gotta cut off a lot of shit from your fucking vision, so you don't become wrapped up in this world of fantasy that eventually will get your ass in fucking trouble. You can't. Listen. Some of us have high standards, and rightfully so. Some of us have low standards because we don't give a fuck. Some of us don't realize that we're playing above our pay grade, you know? We're going after certain women that we shouldn't. And some men, they feel oh my God, I should have the right to be with any woman I want to be with. No, nigga, because that's not how the world works. You got to be cool. Step your fucking game up. If you ever ask yourself, how the fuck is this ugly motherfucker with this beautiful woman? It's because that nigga got game. But some of us don't have that. So some of us has to understand, hey, you might have to downgrade. It might have to be somebody average. You may not want to settle for that, but that's what you have to be. But again, all of this, everything that I'm saying, everything that you're saying, everything that you're going to say is just us right now calling out the men in the world, but we're talking to our wrestling fans, but whoever you are, if you're listening, just understand of what I'm trying to say. It can't always be about. And listen, I'm not saying that Vince is a rapist. I'm not saying that he's not. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that the man's a piece of shit. Not just because he had bitches on the side. I don't give a fuck about that. But no one's gonna fucking really tell me that these bitches did want to fuck Vince McMahon. Like, come on. Nobody loose skin and old balls. I don't give a fuck if he is fit. Nobody wants that wrinkly cock on their fucking face by choice. I mean, they feel like, hey, if I don't do this, maybe I won't get where I want to go. And you can say, at the end of the day, you can say that's still not forcing them, but it's teeters that line. They can always say no. But the fear of what happens, fear is a strong fucking tool. It's a powerful weapon. It's not just a path to the dark side, but there's a reason why it's a path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure everything that Vince McMahon does in his whole life, none of this is in the definition of trans wealthy, right? Anything he's done. Oh, I just want to make sure. Nothing trans wealthy he's done in his life. He's done. Okay. I just want to make sure that he's not trans wealthy. Okay, that's issue is closed for the professor.
Listen, he's just an asshole. But my question to you, Q, is the one I keep asking, the one I've seen a lot of people ask. My cousin asked the same question. He's a CEO who, be it consensual or not, he had affairs with lower level employees. He's not supposed to do that. Can he? He can.
You know, I understand the verbatim for a lot.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing that I don't see a lot of people saying. No, you know, me and JoJo Smith keep bringing this up. He did something that he's not supposed to do. As far, even if it was his money, he's not supposed to be fucking chicks.
But see, you and JoJo are kind of half wrong, because in corporate America, here we're in this. Every company takes rules of corporate America and interprets them in their own light. You're right. A CEO shouldn't have any kind of relationship with anybody below him or her, subordinates or whatever. But every company diffuses that situation. I'm trying to find the right way to explain this with their human resources. And by the way, Hustleites, human resources sucks in corporate America, no matter what company you ever work for. So, you know, I'm saying this is why everybody who works in corporate America are laughing at us, wrestling fans, like, y'all don't know about human resources, don't y'all? Because this is why he's done what he's done. This is why he has spent $12 million of his own goddamn money to kind of erase this from history. He did what he did, extramarital affairs, whatever the case may be, and he paid off it. That's what it is. It's no different than a politician doing something with an intern. Remember, like you said, Bill Clinton and Lewinsky. It's the same thing with politicians, having a baby out of wedlock, and they're having abortions, and some of those politicians are against abortions. We ain't going into that political realm. That's what it is. Like you said, men are assholes. They've done this throughout time, and this is the thing. But with corporate America, every company is so different in that interpretation. I know certain corporate American companies, where that rule is there. You can't date within your company. But
that's what I mean. I don't like to assume shit, but I would assume that they have that same policy.
You and I know this policy does exist, but you and I also know within corporate American companies, some of those people who have dated have been married. Some people have dated, broke up, and just moved on. Some people have done what they've done. That's what's part of corporate America. That's the thing. It's not as so black and white as a lot of people want to make it out as JoJo. JoJo and I went back and forth, and I said, he ain't going nowhere. Vince McMahon ain't going nowhere unless the board proves that the money was allocated from company funds. That's the only thing. That's the only issue that they have. It has nothing.
They have that policy about CEOs, and it's like I said, it seems like every major company has this. It happened to the dude from CNN. And it was consensual, and it wasn't no sexual harassment. It wasn't and that's another thing. The company is saying that shit is consensual. The company saying shit is consensual doesn't necessarily mean that it actually is consensual. That's just what they're saying. And the company is going to cover their ass. They're not going to sit here and say, well, yeah, our CEO is a rapey motherfucker. So, but what we will go with, it is consensual, just for what we know. We don't know for a fact about
I'm not saying it's consensual. The 12 million NDA just says it's consensual, and it doesn't mean it's consensual. The 12 million just means it's been the issue. The issue is resolved. That's all it is.
No, the 12 million. The 12 million means that I don't want you to say shit. That's what it means. It don't mean that the issue is ever solved. I mean, you can say that because you signed it. That's what it does. But
Vince in his warped mind said that issue is closed. That I paid for pussy, and that it cost me $12 million. Like you said, it's the meme. I paid for pussy. That's expensive pussy. In comparison to WCW, paid $2 million for WCW, paying $12 million for 4 women.
And no pussy is worth $1 million. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit if Sparks shot out the ass, if it fucking parted the goddamn sea, if it had the moon and the sun coming out at the same time. No pussy is worth $12 million fucking dollars. None. Like, If that's the case,
how about a payment plan? You know, you put a couple $100 down for the first month, $100 every other month.
If I'm Vince, I'm going to fucking brothels. I'm buying chicks. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to put myself in that position. There's other bitches that I can fuck, but I get it. Like I said, understanding something and agreeing with it is two different things. I can understand a man in a position of power having a young Jenny Neinhardt coming into his office wanting to part in a movie, and you got just a part for her. I get it. Jenny comes into my office, I'll be like, oh shit, you're hired. No, you're hired. You know, it's like maybe I can try to work something in later, but for right now, you're hired. So I get it. I get it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right. And I just felt that with this show, we need to focus. We need to focus on the culture of this shit and pretty much call it out.
And I'm glad you put the CNN thing out there because, you know, the owner, the former owner of CNN had a consensual relationship with one of the news reporters. They were happy. They were, you know, in love and all that stuff. But yet it was against the rules. You know why the pressure was mounting on them? Because of the culture that they created. The liberal media culture that they created. The presence and the reputation that they put on themselves. And CNN did not need any more bad news. They had enough bad news, you know, with a failed streaming service. Now with the WWE side, Vince McMahon technically
they're in the same position in a lot of ways. They don't need this bad press.
No,
they already have a guy. They already have a guy who's picked as their main guy who has some troubled allegations.
Yeah, that's the thing. The difference is with Vince McMahon, his image and his legacy is on the line. But you got other people within the WWE. You know, if this happened to Roman Reigns, what would happen to Roman Reigns? He'd be fired. This happened to you know, Sasha Banks. Well, you know, I don't want. If she did something against company policy, you can see what she's done against. Supposedly, that's against company policy, and we're on Sasha's side. She's being terminated or she's being erased out of WWE history. It's kind of
Sasha's not fucking putting herself in a position to fucking fuck with people and or fire them or demote them. I mean, let's be real about that.
We live in this weird world, but with Vince McMahon, it's kind of a funny situation because Vince McMahon's image and likeness and what he represents is more than that. WWE is USA Network. WWE is Fox. WWE is the Peacock Network. WWE is all these television deals. WWE is all the sponsorship agreements. But there's a face to it, Track, and it's not as easy and cut and dry to X Vince McMahon out. Everybody does business with WWE because of Vince McMahon, not because of Nick Khan, not because of Stephanie, not because of Triple H. Everybody is doing some business because of Vince McMahon. Good, bad, or indifferent, Track. You're doing business with Vince McMahon. So you got to be very careful, and you got to be the board of directors got to be very careful. They should have Vince out already, Track. They should have.
Well,
it should have been an easy transition to have Stephanie as the CEO. Should have been an easy transition for Triple H to be, you know, the next in line. But they haven't done that yet, Track. I don't know why they're delaying the process. That's just me.
Well, I'm gonna go on record right now and say that I think Vince McMahon is gonna be done. I think he's still gonna be running shit, but as far as that corporate face is concerned, I think he's gonna. I think eventually he's gonna step down. I really do, and I don't say this as somebody who's not a WWE fan or anything like that. I don't. No. I'm being sincere in my opinion that I think that this is gonna happen. Okay, and do I want it to happen? Of course. I've been wanting it to happen for years. Did I want it to happen under these circumstances? Absolutely not. I don't wish this shit on nobody. Okay, I don't wish that shit on nobody. I really, if I had a fucking magic stone and reverse this shit and have it never happen, I would have done that. There's a lot of shit that I'd do if I had that power. So I just want to make that clear. But Netflix, don't want to fuck with him no more. They canceled that shit, and that shit was, from what I understand, the documentary on Vince McMahon was damn near finished. And then before that, somebody steps down. The guy who worked with ESPN now. It's the timing. What's the guy's name? Do you have his name on mine right now?
I know his first name is Cornell. I don't know his whole name.
Yeah. So he was with ESPN and he recently left. He gave his reasons, but again, at the timing of this whole thing and in the court of public opinions, this don't look good either. So you got that guy leaving. You got the cancellation of this shit. You got it is very possible. It is very possible that John Cena does not work SummerSlam.
Maybe not.
That's possible. Brock Lesnar ain't gonna give a shit. He don't give a fuck about none of this shit. He ain't a movie star. He ain't got sponsors other than Jimmy John's or whatever. But John Cena, Mr. Bowing down to China. Listen, all I'm saying is any nigga who bows down to China to save his movie career will most likely think twice about working for and with Vince McMahon. With all of this shit happening, you know, if there wasn't any assault accusations, then I could probably say Cena will still do it. But the fact that there's sexual assault and rape allegations going on or resurfacing, because you could just say that, you know, this is old shit. Don't matter. We all see how the dominoes fell because of old shit that came up in the past. We all saw that. So just because it's old, don't mean it's not going to have an effect now. You know. Now I'm not for something like that necessarily, given what it is. If we talking about old sexual harassment, and if you give me the details on it, I could say, you know, nah, you can't say nothing about that shit. Rape, in my opinion, nah, you don't never get a pass for that. You don't move on from that. You gotta that statute. I get why there's a statute of limitations, but for me, fuck all the bullshit. You know, I'm not saying we don't sweep that under the rug. But if we're talking about a relationship that went bad, or he had an affair that happened years ago, and they try to bring that up to try to cancel somebody, fuck that shit. That's ludicrous. But crimes that have been committed, horrific shit, atrocities, you don't sweep those under the rug. So I'm just saying, and I'm asking you, Q, is it possible that we don't see Cena for SummerSlam, which to me would be just great. But
it's a travesty track that we wouldn't be blessed with John Cena at SummerSlam. But John Cena, again, he's in a different stage of his career. I thought, you know, what he did last year with Roman Reigns was enough for me. You know, I don't want you to do these one-offs and it just doesn't mean nothing. You know, track. I just don't want you to do that kind of, you know, passing the torch is one thing, but you know what? Outright losing and looking stupid, I'm just not a fan of. You know, don't hurt the legacy of the GOAT, John Cena. I just don't want to see that. That's just me. So,
well, I highly doubt that whatever he's gonna do. I mean, he's already gonna look stupid in whatever match he's in anyway. But I highly doubt that they're gonna make him look stupid if he does pass the torch. I'm pretty sure it'll be what they feel is a tasteful and respectful way for the 20 years of.
Just remember, track. You know, 20 years of hustle, loyalty, and respect. 20 years, and now he's the peacemaker, the man that saved DC Comics from obscurity. He's gonna resurrect Big Trouble in Little China and take that reboot and take it to the moon.
Yo, nah. Yo, listen,
like he got mad. I don't know.
I think that it's only right that with this type of fucking shit that
you know John Cena's gonna star in it and Kurt Russell's gonna be his father. It's just gonna work. Come on, it looks.
We gotta protest this shit. I don't want to see this. I don't want, because here's what I know what would happen with that shit. Because I don't believe that John Cena is a good actor, and I don't think a lot of people who direct probably think he's a good actor. And this is probably what would happen. They would have that character probably be no different than the Peacemaker character. You know, where they won't even take that shit seriously, and the director will let you know he's not taking this particular character seriously. It will almost be a parody of the original. That's my guess, because the original even though when you get at the what was his name? Jack. 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 What the fuck was his name in Big Trouble in Little China?
It was Jack something.
Jack Burton. Jack
Okay.
Burton. If you think he's gonna be able to pull off Jack Burton like Kurt Russell pulled off Jack Burton, then I am going to ask you to get up and let us look at your house and let's find a fucking crack pipe. Because you know what Jack Burton always says at a time like this? What the hell? But this time Jack Burton is going to say, what the fuck? I said, and I didn't mind seeing I don't mind seeing a Big Trouble in Little China remake, but not with John Cena. You're going to have to find me somebody else. I don't care if it's Chris Helmsworth. I don't care if it's the fucking Star-Lord nigga. I don't care. He can be black for all I care. Nigga can be Mexican. He can't be John Cena. That's all. I won't see him because I'm not seeing that shit.
I'll be going. I'm gonna pay my hard-earned money to go to the movie theaters to see this one. But anyway, that's a different story. But we're gonna talk about Vince McMahon again. My position is still the same way. You gotta severance him out, Track. It's got to be one of those CEO severances. You take them out, $10 million minimum. You got to start with to severance them out. Then you got to buy his stocks. That's the only way you're gonna let him out. Because again, I'll say it again. The women got to take him to court. That's when the board of directors have more leverage to take him out. Right now, they got no leverage.
If the company wants to do a move where they look like they don't want to deal with Vince McMahon anymore, then they will most likely just have him removed. But if he would probably go, listen, I'll step down, but I'm not leaving the company. I'll step down as CEO permanently, and they'll be fine with that. And as far as him running the company is concerned, they won't give a shit because he's not CEO. His daughter is now, and I think Stephanie is probably they're just gonna keep her around, and that's when we're really gonna see the spotlight. That's when we're really going to see if things are. If we'll notice. I mean, the dirt sheets will report on whether or not Vince McMahon has actually stepped down, or if he stepped down and stepped away from WWE as a whole. I think if they even.
But Track,
listen, I think the man will kill himself if they force him out.
No, but this was the PR move that WWE initiated. He steps down, wink, wink, from his CEO duties, but everybody in the offices and everybody, at the arenas are looking at like Vince McMahon still runs the shit. That's what it is. All it was a publicity stunt for WWE to make a statement out in the trades, out in the paper saying that he's not the CEO. His daughter's the interim CEO while this investigation is going.
Remember when he came out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it meant nothing. It was for nothing. It was just a gamble for a ratings pop. He went out there, didn't say shit, went backstage, and we found out through Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp reported when he got to the gorilla position, he said, fuck him. He's talking about his audience? Of course he is. This is the same man who asks you to stand up for the WWE, but he wants you to know he don't give a fuck about you. But you motherfuckers will still be out there, like the professor, holding on to him at that last gunshot. Calvin!
How's that picture? Like this?
Yeah,
like this?
Stand up for the WWE. Yeah, y'all can keep on doing that shit if you want, but he said, fuck y'all. He said, fuck your couch, niggas. He don't give a shit. Listen, and I understand, I get it. It's the dirt sheets because, people like to pick and choose what they want to believe from the dirt sheets, I mean, I'm pretty sure if Sean Ross Sapp reported that Tony Khan went to the gorilla position and said, fuck him. Everybody was like, you see? He said, fuck him. Walt Klein would be doing 30 fucking videos about how Tony Khan don't give a fuck about you neck beard marks and all this dumb shit.
No,
they would be out there.
Keep the same energy. Just keep the same energy as you did with Vince. That's all he would be like that. That's all it is.
But listen, overall, before we get out of here, I just want to say this, all right? The bottom line is that Vince McMahon has to recognize that his time is done. The man's got to go. And if he keeps, listen, I'm going to tell you this straight up. The more he comes out, if he keeps coming out on TV, if he keeps making these appearances, the more guilty he's looking to me. You know what I'm saying? Going out and doing this shit when you regularly don't do it anyway, to try to save face is just making you look guilty. You know, final thoughts, Q, before we get out of here.
Well, I've never said Vince McMahon is innocent. He signed it. NDAs are out there. That's all it is. So I cannot say that Vince McMahon is innocent until proven guilty. He's guilty of, being a man. He's guilty of doing man things, being an asshole and being a pervert. So I'm not even going to defend that. All I'm just going to say is corporate America is a very complicated issue, Trek. You and I both know this in the corporate American game. That's why it's going to take a while. But on the flip side, WWE did the PR moves. He is stepped down as, CEO officially, supposedly. And all this stuff that's coming out is, okay, should enhance the investigation to speed up the process, if you will, like Dusty would say, if you will, that it should just make it easier for Vince McMahon to step down. All I'm saying, he ain't stepping down until you pay him his severance out. That's all I'm going to say.
You see, Vince McMahon doesn't know about hard times, Daddy. Vince McMahon's out there. He comes out there. He sees the beautiful women. He's like, titties here on the mothership, Daddy. We're here Monday Night Raw, and we're going to get things started off, and we're going to look at the titties. We're going to get the women to get on their knees and look at our beautiful genitalia because he's a genetic jackhammer, you see. Now, all right, we're going to get out of here. As this story keeps coming out, we're going to keep talking about it because this shit is funny, especially with the marktards out there. Everybody's going to pick and choose and have their sides. And so we're going to keep coming. We might have, some special guests from the Hustle page come on and give their thoughts on it. We might have Michael Davis and Malik X. I know these guys are clamoring and chomping at the bit to get on here. I'm going to try to get you guys on with me and Q as soon as possible, maybe sometime next week or the week after. Don't know, but we'll work this out. But to let you guys know this, PW Hustle raffle for the G.I. Joe construction sets and the WWE metallic mini figurines. Coming soon. I'm going to let you know the rules for that. We're going to let you know what you got to do to enter. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make an announcement on the community page. If I don't make a video short, I will make an announcement on the community page. Just remember that, all right? Q, let them know where they can find you, brother.
You can find me on the Twitter at PWHustle, that's PWHustle and on the PWHustle networks at podbeam.com, where I host the most nostalgic podcast in wrestling today, the PWR podcast with myself and the Tommy Wonder. And I'll just say this, I will be, again, I got no issues with Vince McMahon. He's a man. He does what he's doing. But if he did anything to the sweet Sapphire, then we got a problem. Do not do anything. If I can hear a story about the sweet Sapphire and Vince McMahon, hit the fan.
Oh God, Billy Jack Haynes. We're gonna have our special reporter Billy Jack Haynes get in on that because I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna have the scoop on it. But of course, you can find your boy A-Track Brown here on the PW Hustle. You can find me on Twitter at A-Track Dastardly, the number 8 TRAC Dastardly. Don't forget, hit that notification button, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel, donate to the Cash App. Gonna have the link down there as well. I'm gonna get back to doing my Miss Marvel reactions. Had to take some time off. Had to collect my emotions or whatever. But I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna hit you guys with. I'm gonna catch up. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna catch up. All right. And don't forget, sign up to the PW Hustle Facebook group. Sign up to the PW Hustle Facebook group. So we're gonna get out of here. We see y'all motherfuckers later. Most likely next week we'll come at you with a new show. All right? The Acclaimed. No, stop.
I ain't scissoring you. Hell no.
No. We ain't going there. We out. See y'all later.